What's up, guys? This is Storm, and welcome to episode 23 of the Gaming News Week. We have a lot to cover this week, so without further ado, let's get on with the news. This first bit of news is something I missed on from the last episode, so I'm going to do a quick cover for it. Apparently, the devs of Subnautica is suing their publisher Krafton. The report I saw came from Dexerto. It says Subnautica devs are suing the game's publishers after being fired. They have potentially lost $250 million in bonuses after Krafton delayed the sequel to Subnautica. And that's a big, hefty price to pay for this lawsuit. I believe this comes under the whole situation with the layoffs. So the devs of Krafton, the devs of Subnautica got hit by the looks of it, and Krafton have delayed the game of Subnautica 2, thus making them lose $250 million in bonus. So that pretty suck, honestly. I heard good things about Subnautica. I haven't really played it myself, and I believe the sequel for Subnautica was announced like a while ago. So the fact that it got delayed again, but it doesn't look like it was by like the typical we need more time for polishing. It kind of sounds like Krafton delayed the game itself for some reason. But yeah, I feel bad for the devs for this one. Hopefully, they win the lawsuit and get that $250 million, because yikes, that's a lot of money to lose for a publisher. Marvel Rivals have shown up their season 3.0 roadmap. From July 11th, we got the Phoenix, Jean Grey, and the new map, the new battle pass, the new event that give us a couple of new costumes. One of them is Storm with her symbiote look. July 18th is the Marvel Rivals swimsuit special event, which have Psylocke, Luna, Thing, Thor, and Loki in swimsuit wear. July 25th is the launch of the Marvel Studios The Fantastic Four First Steps skin for the Fantastic Four characters to help promote the new Fantastic Four movie that's coming out. And also, we're going to get a team attack with The Thing and Johnny Storm. We don't know how that looks yet, but it's more than likely is a team attack that is going to be shown during the movie, which I'm excited to see how that looks. August 1st, we'll get Magic Phoenix skin, and also with the Black Panther Phoenix skin. And for coming soon for August 8th, which is the 3.5 update, which basically that's when Blade is going to join the roster and some more goodies coming there. So if you're excited for Marvel Rivals to play as Blade, there you go. Looks like we're going to be playing as him as August 8th. Jeff Keighley has tweeted and have announced that Call of Duty Black Ops 7 will get a worldwide reveal at Open Night Live at Gamescom on August 19th, which is a Tuesday, and the live stream starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you're a fan of Call of Duty and you're looking for the next Black Ops game, there you go. We're going to get our first look of it, most likely a trailer, probably a little bit of gameplay of it. And usually Gamescom, they usually have like people who's at the event. There will be like demo stages for people to play certain games that get shown. Don't know if that's going to be the case for Call of Duty, but yeah, if you're going to the event and if you're excited for Call of Duty, you're in for a treat. PlayStation announced they will be at the 2025 Chinajoy Hero Project, which, if you don't know what this is a expo of where Chinese developers or Eastern developers in general come out and show off their games that they got coming or they want to promote to hopefully get a publisher. And this generation, PlayStation had been a strong push for the Eastern market, especially in China. So they developed this called the China Hero Joy, where they promote Chinese developers, their games, have it have it be shown off and stuff, and also get a funding from PlayStation. And we have seen a couple of them in the past. The biggest one that is set to come out right now this year is Lost OSI, which was started by one person since 2016 when I first saw his first ever gameplay trailer for Lost OSI, which is pretty nice. And once he showed that off, PlayStation managed to help fund his project, and later down the line, he also got a team called Ulterior Games, I believe it's called, or something along those lines. The developers go by the name of Young Bing, and originally Lost Side was supposed to come out on May 30th, but it got delayed, which is now coming out next month. So we're probably gonna get another look of Lost Side, just a more updated look of it, because the reason for the delay, he said he wanted more time to polish it so it could be up to the standard that he wants it to be, which is understandable. This is his first ever game, so, and just like everything in the world, your first what's the phrase? What the phrase go? Your damn it, I really can't remember the phrase. Basically, your first appearance is the one that got matter the most. So along the line. So Sony gonna have like a major booth at the Chinajoy, and which is in China. The Chinajoy is one of the biggest expos, one of the gaming expo. Apparently, some people say it's the biggest expo in the world. I don't know. I don't know about that, but it had in 2024. They had a total of 367,000 people attending the expo. So that is some pretty good number, especially like when it comes to gaming. People don't really like pay attention to Chinese developers, which now they're starting to, especially China and Korean developers. And Sony also announced another China, not a China hero, but another hero project, I believe, like for India, I think was. So, and I believe it was like a couple of months ago we got two games of from India that's being worked on because of this. So, hey, more games are coming. So this is all good news to me personally. According to GameSpot, apparently it turns out that Fallout 5 is now reportedly fully greenlit. So it kind of safe to say that Fallout 5 is in development right now. This comes after the bunch of layoffs that happened at Microsoft and stuff. So I believe this could be since a lot of games that got canceled, like you had Perfect Dark, some Elder Scrolls game called Project. It was Project Sun. I can't remember the name of it, but it was supposed to be like a MMORPG, Elder Scrolls type of thing, which some people were upset that it got canceled because they were working on it, and because also I believe it said that Microsoft Phil Spencer said like it was coming along great, then out of nowhere it got canceled. So yeah, that's pretty messed up. If that was the case that was said, um, fans of the Fallout series are excited, which I could definitely see the heavy push for another Fallout game because of the Fallout TV show that came out that did pretty well, and the season 2 coming out. So I could potentially see like a Fallout 5 is probably way early in development to even think about they're doing like a promotion with the game and the show. But I could probably see them Fallout 5 try to get it, put it out there faster just to clean up the whole situation with the layoffs, and so I can see that happening. But we'll see. We'll see how it looks. I'm personally not a Fallout fan, but I know people who are, and they are excited for it. So hopefully Bethesda can knock it out of the park because Fallout 76 at launch was pretty bad, but then eventually it did got better over time. But that initial launch was pretty bad. This report comes from Jason Schreier. He reported that he has spoken to some people at PlayStation Studios Santa Monica. They are the studio that's behind the God of War franchise. And he said they're working on a new IP, which had a lot of people speaking like, could this be the game that Cory Barlog, the sci-fi game that Cory Barlog had been teasing for the longest? That is like, I guess, reported that he could be working on. But later, Jason Schreier have clarified on the statement. He said on Reset Era, I put it this way: it is not a new IP, but it might feel like one. Maybe that's why people are confused. Please don't ask me any more questions about this. If I wind up reporting more information at any point in the future, it will be in an article, not on a forum. I could also confirm that Ashong knows what they're talking about, and that sci-fi stuff that people have apparently believed for years now is nonsense. So it's not the sci-fi game that everybody assumed it was going to be, but it also is not a new IP, but it will feel like it's a new IP. More discussion in the forum said, I guess a reboot of some old IP or obscure adaptation, that's why it feels like a new IP. And they said, also, this is some stuff that Echelon has said before. And this is the quote of this person Echelon has said. He said, I can't wait for Santa Monica to announce their game. I truly don't know how Era will react. I will just say it's different and probably not something anybody is expecting. Not trying to sour anyone's expectations, by the way. I think it's going to be amazing. At first I was like, eh, but then I was like, oh. Edit 2 apparently is not a licensed game either. So, this is truly a game that Santa Monica have created from the ground up. It's not using any existing license. Like, it's not Star Wars, it's not Marvel, it's not DC, anything of that nature. So, the possibilities what it could be like he said, a reboot of an old franchise, or it's adapting to something that will make it totally different, thus making it feel like it's a new game. We don't know when we're gonna hear more about this. Um, it's up in the air where Santa Monica is at right now. Some people believe that we're gonna get another God of War game, but it's gonna be focused on Atreus. There was that rumor about that God of War Greek Saga game that is supposedly telling the story of Kratos before he became the God of War. So when he was a Spartan soldier, or what else was said? It could be anything, or it could be a remake of the first trilogy of God of War games, but it will be like remade to have the graphics of God of War 2018 and Ragnarok. I heard so the possibilities are endless. What could Santa Monica could be working on? I'm truly looking forward to it. So, and I can wait to see when they're comfortable and ready to announce whatever they got going on. We got some hands-on experience with the new Mafia, the old country, and this was some people had to say about it. They said exceeded in returning Mafia to its gameplay roots, like Mafia 1 and 2, story first, engaging story, knives are important, lots of moves in the knife fights. Batman Arkham games mentioned, gameplay system are comfortable, effective, and fun. Stealth is enjoyable, amazing countryside. You could choose your own horse, each steed even having its own personality and characteristics. Multiple difficult levels, very few concerns after 3 hours of gameplay. And this was an article that was made by IGN. I'm looking forward to playing Mafia, the old country. I tried to play Mafia 3. I, me personally, I just could get into it, unfortunately. And I'm truly excited what can this one give me, especially they're not doing the whole open world aspect this time. It's gonna be a more linear story, which a lot of people prefer in general. People nowadays they feel like a fatigue when it comes to open world games, just because the worlds are just bloated with just random just stuff for you to do just to pad out your game hours. So this is good overall for people that wants to just enjoy a linear story, and I can't wait to see what can I experience from Mafia: The Old Country, especially how they're talking about it. It sounds pretty good just after 3 hours of gameplay. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. It looks like Splitgate 2 is not doing so well. A new report claims Splitgate 2 developer reportedly paid over $400,000 to influencers to stream and play the game. Splitgate 2 has now lost 90% of its player base on Steam since it launched. Yikes. And now thinking back on it, when they had the whole Summer Game Fest and the developer of Splitgate 2 came out on stage and threw shot at Call of Duty, yeah, you ain't looking so good right now. It's always funny when a studio or something throws shots and they just get a big taste of humble pie. It's always funny to me because, like, you didn't have to throw the shots at Call of Duty. You could just said your speech and just kept it moving. But now, yeah, it's just not looking good for you right now. And it kind of does make sense because playing Splitgate 2, it does take a while to find a lobby. It's not like you get like an instant lobby like that compared like you could get like a match instantly on Marvel Rivals. So Yep. Don't know what can Splitgate 2 to turn this around, but yes, paying over $400,000 to influencers to stream and play the game. Yeah, I don't think that's a well money investment, but here's hoping that they could possibly turn it around because is I don't know how long Splitgate 2 is gonna last. Cause it's kind of funny because I had more fun playing Splitgate 1 than 2, which is kind of funny. I guess it's because like there was no classes and stuff, so this one it just you just play the game and just fill with a whole bunch of microtransactions, but yeah, not surprising from a free to play game, so it is what it is. Life is Strange is getting a collection that comes with all 5 of the games and all the DLCs. It's set to release on October 2nd. In this collection, you get Life is Strange Remastered, Life is Strange Before the Storm Remastered, Life is Strange 2, Life is Strange True Color, and Life is Strange Double Exposure. This is a pretty cool collection, especially for people who haven't played any of the Life is Strange games. And the fact you also get all the DLCs also, it's a pretty sweet deal if you ask me. I believe price have not been announced yet, but I will give an update when that eventually happens. So for those who are into the Life is Strange franchise, or if you're new to it, I it'll be a pretty smart idea if you want to get into it. Buy the collection and you get everything for a single price, which is pretty nice. This comes from Push Square. PlayStation is to skip Gamescom show for 6 years in a row for the 6th year in a row. Honestly, I don't know why this is news because PlayStation was not going to Gamescom since before the PS5 even came, before the PS5 and the Xbox Series console generation even started. So I'm confused. Why is this a shock still? If they wasn't going since before this generation started, what makes it that they would go now? Honestly, but I guess some people want them to go. I guess, man, if they don't have a reason to go, they're not gonna go. And since the Gamescom is happening in August, I'm a I'm assuming they're doing the China Hero project, so that's also happening next month also. So Sony is gonna pick an event that they have more control over their stuff. Okay, ever since they backed out E3, they want to announce and show off their own thing on their own terms. Like yeah, okay, they would have like have Jeff Keighley announce it at his events, especially like the Game Awards or Summer Game Fest, because like Summer Game Fest, everybody watching all these events going on, like Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation will probably drop a state of play here and there or something along those lines. And at the Game Awards, everybody is watching. Like last year at Game Awards, that was like the best one so far. That was the best Game Awards we seen. A lot of good announcements. The pace was nice. We got some surprise game reveals like The Witcher 4, Okami sequel, um, Naughty Dog new game, The Intergalactic. Like it was just good stuff all around. And the biggest surprise that Asher Ball winning Game of the Year, which a lot of people did not expect that to happen. I believe a lot of people was banging on Black Man's Wukong or Re Fantasio Metaphor Re Fantasio to win that. Honestly, I was kind of hoping for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but that's just me. But I was not disappointed that Astro Ball won because I platinum that game and it was a very fun experience. Hope Team Asobi put out more. But anyway, yeah, especially Sony show off when they do their state of plays and stuff. They their events get a lot of views. Probably not crazy views like how like the Game Awards get, but views nonetheless. Like I believe it was said like their latest state of play had an all time high view, which was let's see. Their last state of play was the Ghost of Yotei deep dive, and that has. Give me 1 second. Where is it? It has. Jesus Christ, Sony be dropping trailers here and there. Alright. The Ghost of Yotei has a 3.2 million views, and that came out 11 days, which is a pretty good number. Summer Game Fest had a, let's see, Summer Game Fest had an 8.5 million, which is also nice. Let's see about how much Gamescom. Gamescom 2024 had a 2.7 million views, which Ghost of Yotei State Play alone had more than that. And plus, I think a lot of people would rather prefer going to the event than watching it, but still, nonetheless, Sony State of Play still gain numbers like these other events are. So they rather showcase their own game on their own terms instead of paying for it to be shown. Which there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, they will occasionally let like Jeff Keighley show off a game on his platform to a larger view audience, especially if it's a new announcement. Like I said, when they did with the Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, a new IP from Naughty Dog. So Sony just not going to Gamescom. Like leave it how it is. Like I'm gonna watch the Gamescom just in case like an announcement of a game that I am looking forward to or I would like to see more of. Don't know if I care enough to look at Call of Duty because I didn't buy the last Call of Duty because low key kinda over it to be honest, but it's neither here nor there. But we'll see what happens next month. I'm definitely going to. Don't know if I'm gonna do a reaction to Gamescom. I probably will, depending if I'm not busy during that time. If I am and I won't be able to catch a live, I'll probably do it like a after the live thing is up because that's when the 4K version of it will probably be up on YouTube by the time. Leak reports say the ROG Xbox Ally, which is a handheld which Xbox and ROG Ally company is doing collaboration. Supposed price have been leaked in UK pricing, but convert that into the US dollar. It is said that the price will be $700 for the regular Xbox ROG Ally and the ROG Xbox Ally X is expected to be $1,050. The prices have yet to be officially confirmed, so take this with a grain of salt. But $700 and $1,050 for a handheld, that is absolute crazy. Absolute crazy. Especially the handheld is the cost of a PS5 Pro. That is bonkers. Like, let's hope these are not the confirmed prices, because if it is, if they expect this thing to sell, it definitely is not. You're pushing when it comes to the $700, but 1,050. Oh nah, could not be me. Could not be me. That is ludicrous pricing. Until we hear otherwise, like I said, take this price with a grain of salt. But it is still just crazy to hear that um, this could potentially be the price, as I said this in quotes. Saber Interactive is teasing something that's coming on July 22nd at 1 p.m. Pacific time. You don't know who Saber Interactive are. They're the studio behind Jurassic Park Survival that's in the works, Turok Origins, Knights of the Old Republic remake, Warhammer 40k Space Marine, and others. So could this be an event that they give us some updates of these games? Because we haven't seen nothing of Star Wars: The Knights of the Old Republic since I believe it was first revealed in 2021. So it's been over 4 years since we heard anything about it. The only thing we heard about it is that the original dudes that was doing the writing for it, they got replaced, and this game is set on the back burner. Turok Origins, we saw that at the Game Awards last year. Jurassic Park Survival, I believe it's been a while we heard anything about that. So could this potentially be a live stream event that we're gonna get some updates of these games? We just gotta wait and see. Hopefully it is, because I definitely want to know what's going on with the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and Turok Origins. We got some new information for Wuchang Fallen Feathers when it comes to its graphics settings. We got a list of the type of frame rates that this game will be running on the base PS5 and the PS5 Pro. Here we have on the PS5 in quality mode, it's going to be at 30 FPS. Balance mode is going to be 40 FPS. Performance mode is going to be 60 FPS, which is all very nice. But on the PS5 Pro version, quality mode is going to be at 60. Balance is going to be at 70, and performance mode is going to be at 80 FPS, which is very, very good, honestly, which is very good. And of course, there have been some discord that some people believe that the PS5 Pro is a scam because it have not really shown off, uh, basically shown off why people would need a PS5 Pro. The advertisement for the PS5 Pro is basically the quality. You want to play your games in a better quality, which one of those cases is the frame rate. So if the PS5 Pro is having games at a better frame rate than the base PS5, then is doing what it's supposed to do in the advertisement. So I don't get this whole discourse that is a scam. Like, if you don't, they're not pushing the PS5 Pro on you. It's just there if you want a premium experience with the games. So, like, if you don't need it, you don't have to buy it. Like, the whole argument about the PS5 Pro is getting stupid at this point because it is what it is. If you don't need it, you don't have to get it. But if anybody excited to play Wuchang Fallen Feathers, there you go. If you have a PS5 Pro, you're going to be playing it in a better frame rate compared to the base one. Even with the base one, you're playing performance mode, you're still going to get the 60 FPS. Even if you don't need the 60 FPS, there's a balance mode. So either way, you can still play above 30 even on the base PS5. To end off this video, we're going to be looking at some highlights from an interview that Sucker Punch had with Game Informer, going over Ghost of Yotei and some stuff that Nate Fox from Sucker Punch have said and had a lot of people hoping is going to happen in the future. In this first one, Nate Fox was asked, was there any potential return to the infamous franchise at Sucker Punch? This way he had to say, I would love to work on more Infamous. I would love to see a trilogy re-release, but Sucker Punch is a one game at a time shop. And right now we are very focused on finishing Ghost of Yotei. He didn't deny that it could happen. It just how Sucker Punch work, they work on one game at a time before they focus on anything else. So we could potentially see a re-release of the original Infamous trilogy, Infamous 1, Infamous 2, and the DLC for Infamous 2, and possibly a PS5 remastered version of Infamous Second Son. It's a strong possibility that we could get those, but we just gotta wait and see what the future tells for Infamous. Me personally, I wouldn't mind if they did that, but for me, I would at least want the Ghost franchise to at least get its own trilogy before Sucker Punch move on to another IP or revisit Infamous, because I think it's fair that all of Sucker Punch games, they got in a trilogy. So I would love to see the Ghost franchise get its own trilogy also, because it's very good, and I love Ghost of Tsushima. I'm excited for Ghost of Yotei. This interview comes from Nate Fox that he had with Games Radar. This are the bullet points that he said in his interview. Ghost of Yotei will not include a stance in its combat system, confirmed. So this is what I speculate. They removed the stances that Ghost of Tsushima had, like the war stance, the earth, air, and basically the standard stance that Jin Sakai would use depending on the type of enemy that he was facing. But in Ghost of Yotei, they replaced that with different weapons. Like they said in their deep dive, if you would go up against one of the big heavy hitters, you would use the Odachi. If you was going up against someone that was using a spear, you would use the dual wield katanas. So that's basically the new stance system. Basically, you pick the right weapon for the right type of enemy to go up against if you want a easier battle. Stances were a key mechanic in Ghost of Tsushima, but are replaced in favor of the new weapon-based combat. I already explained that. Creative director Nate Fox says the new system adds more improvisation and depth. Each weapon serves a unique purpose, like spears for launching enemies and the Kurosagama for crowd control. We kind of saw that with the chain sickle weapon. I think that's the Kurosama, that you're able to yank enemies towards you at a distance. And we saw that Atsu is able to pick up an enemy spear and chuck it at an enemy at a distance. Disarm mechanic is important. Players can lose weapons and must use enemy weapons. I believe that's a pretty cool feature. If you're not careful, an enemy could disarm you, or if you're that good enough, you could disarm them, leaving them defenseless. Guns are included but are situational and not effective as melee alternatives, which makes sense. They definitely fit in the category like how the bow and the heavy bow is. Um, a wolf companion joins Atsu, playing a key role in combat exploration. Like in that deep dive, we saw a wolf. We've been seeing this wolf have been used in different trailers for the promotion and stuff. Even the marketing, like you play Astrobot and you find the bot for the Astrobot VIP for Atsu, the wolf is with her. So the wolf is a dynamic, independent character and not always present but always nearby. So you cannot call on the wolf whenever you want. It's like a sometimes if you're in the middle of combat, sometimes he will appear, sometimes he won't. Which is, to be honest, I kind of prefer that because if the wolf was always with you, it will make the combat very easy, in my opinion. But switching back to Gaming Forum, Nate Fox talk about the balancing freedom and story in Ghost of Yotei. He says in 1603, peace was broken out in Japan. Now many warriors are out of work, moved to Izo, modern day uh, Hokkaido, in the current state in Japan. It's sort of a powder keg as it is mostly lawless, packed with people, weapons, and etc. He doubles down, basically saying the game is very much its own story. It's not connected to Ghost of Tsushima or Jin Sakai. I know a lot of people prefer wanting to like play Jin Sakai because they believe his story is not really finished. In my opinion, how the original game ended and how the DLC ended, I believe Jin's story is pretty much done. I don't know what more they could add. A lot of time went into researching the history, location, travel all over Hokkaido, plus Japanese advisors. They've done their research, which is nice. They had the Japanese advisor to make sure everything fits. The wolf is referred to as a Izo wolf, which is now extinct in modern day right now. The wolf shadows you in the game. Basically, in on the last interview I talked about they have a game's radar. He said the wolf is basically just following you, but it's not like they're constantly following you. It's not a pet dog that can be called upon, more an ally through the reputations of wilderness. We already said that. There are a great variety of animals Altu can interact with, like herds of horses you can ride with. We saw that in one of the previous trailers. The storyline is still linear with a structured arc. You don't kill the Yotei 6 in any order, but there are some more open-ended options to encourage exploration and more freedom. A lot of people was worried that it was going to be like how Assassin's Creed Shadow was going to do it. Basically, Assassin's Creed Shadow, you could go after any order of the people that killed, basically killed the girl father in Assassin's Creed Shadow story nowadays. And a lot of people feared that Ghost of Yotei was going to be the same, but now we got confirmation. No, it's still a linear story. You can't go after them whenever you want, in any order they want. It basically you have to follow the structure that the story set up. So a lot of people saw this and they were happy, and hey, I'm happy for it also. So it's not like you could start from the beginning and rush to the end of going after the final boss. They also go into details of what the PS5 was able to achieve with Ghost of Yotei. They said the PS5 allows Cyberpunk to implement the instant time travel feature from present to past to Atsu as a kid. Both are on the same time. We don't know to what extent that could be. That could be only for certain areas, or you could probably do it at any free time. They also said that They also said the PS5 tech also let the team render more distant detail like mountains, higher fidelity, distant terrain, volumetric fall, low lying clouds, improved skin and hair rendering, better skyboxes, for example the Aurora Borealis, and fast travel is super quick and barely any load time. I think the biggest thing that needed to be improved was the facial and hair quality of NPC characters. That was something that definitely needed improved from Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm glad they took that into account. They also said Wind Navigation System returns with improvement guides you around major obstacles instead of just a straight line through. The Shazin string instrument also carries on her back can also guide her to certain places. Nice. And the team doesn't mind comparisons to Assassin's Creed Shadows. Welcome more studios creating games in this style and era. So it just goes to show, Sucker Punch had been seeing like the Discord people talk about the comparison when it comes to Ghost of Yotei and Assassin's Creed Shadows. People try to see which one does uh, a Japanese type of game better. A lot of people say, and of course, a lot of people say, I somewhat do agree a little bit. Um, if it wasn't for Ghost of Tsushima, we probably wouldn't even got in Assassin's Creed Shadows. So there's that. Overall, for what I seen from the bullet points of the interviews, I am extremely excited for Ghost of Yotei. I can't wait for it to eventually drop. But this is the end of the video. What do you guys think? Are you guys excited for Ghost of Yotei after hearing the stuff that was said in the interview? Are you gonna pick up Wuchang Fallen Feathers, which is a Souls-like game, or are you gonna be in the market to get the Xbox ROG Ally if you don't mind the price point if the price point does turn out to be true? Let me know in the comments below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your week. Peace out.